Hi, I'm the Rogue Reviewer. Just come back from the cinema with Jon Outworld. Today we went to see TRON Ares. It's just been released in the cinema today. So we're going to give our reaction to the film, our overall thoughts, and our overall scores. So here we go. Okay, so onto the film. So the film's set 15 years after Tron Legacy. So Sam Flynn is out of the picture now. So it's kind of between his company Encom and Dillinger Systems and the remaining CEOs, and it's a battle for the next stage of evolution of technical AI computer systems. They're both trying to work out how to bring the computer systems into the real world. However, there's some flaws because they need a perfect code to be able to make it last. So it's kind of a battle against a company that wants to use it for war and another company that wants to use it for world peace. So the film kind of goes on from there, but we'll talk a little bit more about this in the review. So here we go. Okay, so I'm with Jon Outworld. We've just come back from Tron Ares. So the film starred Jared Leto as Ares. It starred Greta Lee as Eve. It starred Evan Peters as Dillinger and Jodie Turner-Smith as Athena. So the main kind of characters of the film. So John, what did you think of the film?
Yeah, no, I enjoyed it. It was a fun watch. It was entertaining all the way through. Didn't feel long.
Yeah, I felt the story itself was slightly a bit bland. To be honest, I was expecting a direct sequel to kind of Tron Legacy to kind of leave off where the Tron Legacy left off, but it felt more of a standalone film where the story's gone in its own kind of direction. It hasn't got Sam Flynn in at all, and the story felt quite jumpy. To be honest, it's like there was a MacGuffin of a secret code that everyone was fighting for, and that was the main plot line of the story, and yeah, it kind of just was based around that.
So I can understand what you think in regards to that, and I can see why some fans might be disappointed if they were expecting a direct sequel. But I generally appreciated some of the situations they were trying to cover.
Mm.
Uh, Especially in regards to how AI is perceived and how it's moving forward, how quickly it's moving forward in the world, and some of the issues that it may cover.
Okay, so what did you think of the acting in the film, the performances?
Yeah, no, acting was great. Everybody performed their role. I said it earlier beforehand. I thought Jared Leto actually came back to form
Yeah,
compared to some of his previous roles. I always rated him as a good actor. I just maybe acting isn't always the best way of going about things, but yeah,
yeah.
I thought predominantly all the acting was very good. I don't think there's anybody that stood out as a bad actor.
Yeah, I was quite worried when I saw Jared Leto attached to this movie because there's been a few disappointing films I've seen of him recently, but he actually gave quite I don't know, quite a human kind of performance, even though he was an AI computer, a generated AI computer. But he was good. I thought Greta Lee was okay as the kind of main protagonist of the film. She was alright. She was kind of jumping from scene to scene, and it was kind of based around her character getting the code and fighting off the Dillinger company. Yeah, she was good. I quite actually liked Athena, the Jodie Turner. So she was kind of the main the villain. So
Villain, yeah,
yeah,
no,
she was.
I thought she was really good.
Yeah,
If anything, I thought she was the better AI. If anything, Leto was a little bit too human.
yeah. She was the character I was expecting from Jared Leto, and it was a bit of a kind of red herring.
Yeah,
She was actually really good as the villain,
a
and
little bit more like, yeah, I would have expected Leto to be a little bit more like
yeah,
that at the beginning,
I found
and then he could have
yeah,
turned into a human a little bit later
I
instead of it being all the way him having emotions.
this was one of my kind of I don't know. I found his character a little bit confusing because I thought he was designed as the perfect soldier, but his character kind of just falls off and starts getting these emotions very quickly at the start and makes kind of he's acting on his own, even though he's getting direct orders from the Dillinger from Evan Peters' character. But yeah, it's more Athena's character who's like leading the charge to stop Eve and get the code back. But overall, I thought the acting was okay. It was good. Okay, onto the action. So the action I thought was the first half of the film was a little bit slow, where it was kind of a lot of sort of setting up the storyline and what was happening, because it's kind of just felt like a brand new story. It didn't really feel connected to the Tron world, so there was a lot of setup. But when the action did kick into second gear in the second half of the film, it was good. I was like thoroughly impressed with the actual action that was going on, the motorbikes, the spacecrafts from the original Tron film. When they all brought that together, it looked good. I have to say. What do you think of it?
So I've got to disagree. I agree with the action being great and amazing, and but I thought it felt very Tron-y straight from the back. I thought it was very Tron-y straight from the back. There was the freaking frisbee freaking weapon straight off the bat. He was practicing with it. He was trying to do all these kind of things. I felt it. Yeah, I always felt that I was in a Tron film.
Yeah,
I always felt like I was in a Tron film. It didn't feel awkward to me. I know we disagree on this. I know we disagree on this kind of thing. But yeah, action was fantastic.
Yeah.
How they've gone about it, how the actors perform their roles in regards to the fight scenes was spot on.
Yeah. One thing that I didn't really expect to like as much as I did was the music. It's one of my favorite scores, one of my favorite soundtracks is the soundtrack from Tron Legacy. Daft Punk knock out of the park with that film. And when I heard Nine Inch Nails was doing the music to this film, I was a little bit concerned. But the music's such a big part of this movie. They have always great sounds. It really feels like a Tron world with the music, and it's like these big spectacles with the new Tron kind of music. But I thought it was spectacular. The sounds is really good.
I've got to disagree. So yeah, no, absolutely. It had that science fiction sound. It had that dystopian sound, which is of course what it needed to have. Don't remember the music. I don't remember the music.
Really?
And in other time periods, I've said that I thought it was a good thing that I didn't remember.
The sound was like the most
it
was so blaringly like loud and so Tron-esque. It was actually my favorite part of the movie was the music.
There's occasions that I really like the fact that I don't notice the music, but I wasn't noticing the music in a bad way.
Really?
I don't know. It didn't feel to me that it was driving the storyline. It didn't feel to me that it was driving what was happening.
Oh, I thought
I didn't feel. I never felt attached to the music. Yeah. But I mean, do you know what? Maybe that's just me, and then maybe that's my personal.
After watching this, I think I'm going to re-listen to the soundtrack because I enjoyed it actually that much.
Well, I've been in your car, and yeah, I reckon I would listen to that music a lot of times.
Okay, so the director was Joachim Ronning, who you may know from the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, Dead Man Tells No Tales. I thought the film was quite jumpy. There were some plot holes, but the cinematography is beautiful. It's exactly how I want a Tron film to look and to feel. It did feel like a Tron film. It just wasn't the story I wanted to be told in the Tron movie, but the way it looked was amazing. How did you feel about the directing and the cinematography?
Well, again, he also directed Maleficent, and again, yeah, visually that was beautiful. It was a beautiful film. It was a beautiful film. How they did the AI kind of thing, that kind of virtual kind of images, so especially some of the opening credits almost looked like probably was AI generated images.
There were some spectacular shots. It looked like kind of drones flying up in the sky with the red, the Tron,
the colors and all that amazing kind of stuff.
We watched it in sort of standard 2D, but I think if you did watch it in
3D, oh my god,
or IMAX, you'd appreciate.
Is there a 3D version?
Probably, but I know there's an IMAX version.
If there was a 3D version, oh my god, I can only imagine.
But the film did look spectacular.
It did look spectacular.
I don't know, I just felt some of the scenes was kind of jumping to the next scene without actually really telling a great story. But it looked how I'd want my Tron movie to look. As a big Tron fan, this is how I'd want it to look.
Yeah, you're a massive Tron fan. You're a massive Tron fan.
Yeah. But yeah, the story is the big letdown. I wanted a sequel to Tron Legacy. I didn't get that. It's a standalone Tron universe movie without the characters I want, other than, well, spoiler
So
alert,
again, I'm sorry.
Kevin Flynn's in the film, but it's a minor role.
I'm
He
sorry.
gives a man a code, and
I'm sorry, I've got to disagree. Things like that. I thought it added to the Tron legacy. I thought it added to the Tron legacy. It didn't need to follow the same characters of aging and things like that. It built on the things that were done, and it used some of the modern problems, modern situations that we're actually potentially going through.
yeah, no, I can see that it wants to tell a modern story
build onto
of
that.
AI technology rather than kind of taking on the story that was going
You
on.
wanted to have.
Yeah, it is done from a modern aspect, modern point of view. It's definitely, looking into AI, how we're all using it right now, rather than like a sequel to the Tron story. I can see what they were trying to do.
Yeah.
It just, as a big Tron fan, I just wanted to see what happened after Tron Legacy, and I didn't get that.
As a minor, which I very much enjoyed the Tron films, as a minor Tron fan, I enjoyed the adding on to the legacy instead of just trying to make a cheap, just trying to make a cheap freaking cash in storyline.
So, as a film, what would you score this on sort of watchability? Would you want to watch this again?
Yeah, I'd watch it again.
Yeah,
I'd watch again. It's visually so pleasing. That's not an important thing in a film. That's not the most important thing in a film, of course. But I thought it was entertaining from start to beginning. I was never bored. It never felt long. Well, how long is the film?
It's definitely over 2. It felt long to me. Like the first half, I was kind of bored, but the second half of the film does kick into gear, and I was entertaining the second half. The second half is when the film kind of comes into its own. But for the first half, I was just waiting for the film to kind of just really just start to find out what was really going on. I don't know. I wouldn't put it in the same category as Tron and Tron Legacy. I watched Tron Legacy multiple times. I love that film, and I love the storyline because I love the Legacy characters. Where this just doesn't have any Legacy characters. I don't, other than a brief cameo from Jeff Bridges. But yeah, it was enjoyable. Like I'd watch it, but I wouldn't go out of my way to watch it again, if you know what I mean.
So I'd actually rather see a film that's actually carrying on with a legacy, not just fucking putting reused the old actors into the film and trying to just cash in on nostalgia. I'm really pleased to actually see a film actually try and do its own thing instead of just cashing in on instead of just casting in on nostalgia.
It just, in Tron Legacy, it leaves on such a cliffhanger. You just want to know what happens to Sam Flynn, and it did leave it on a story. But
fuck it, he's anyway.
I feel like it's a step slightly missed. Hopefully, maybe in a Tron 4 they might bring it back, but we'll see how well this film does. Okay, so on to our overall scores. So I'm going to give this film, I thought I would actually score this a lot lower than I actually did, but I would give this film a 7.2 out of 10. There's certain aspects of this film I love. The music, I absolutely love this film. The cinematography is incredible. The acting is okay. The story is where it kind of lets it down for me personally, and kind of the watchability of the film. But I give this film 7.2. It's worth watching, but I don't put it in the same category as Tron Legacy or the original Tron. But go watch it, and I'd like to hear your views, because as a big Tron fan, I feel it's a bit of a letdown. But John, what is it called? You're John there. What would you score?
What is it? Based on your scoring system, we do a scoring system based on a bullet point kind of system, and it's worked out that way. My score turned out to be a 7.1, which is lower than Barney's score, even though I thought it was a better film than him. But it was just some small sort of upsets with it all. I had some issues with how some of the pacing might have gone, and I had some issues with how quickly the story was moving forward. But predominantly, I thought it was a great film. I think it's worth a watch for anybody.
I think
Um,
the big aspect that sort of splits our scores is the music. I actually think the music's one of the biggest elements of the biggest the best parts of the
oh, it
film.
was the music. It was the music.
Well,
Yeah,
you didn't actually
I
like the
put that.
music, which is really strange.
I put a really low score on the music. Actually, yeah, that's what it. It's the music. That's what made my score so low. Yeah, the music was unrememberable for me when I was like. You look at something like Insurrection. That music's so memorable and so right. Yeah, it's so memorable.
Inception.
Yeah, did I say the word wrong?
No, it's the Star Trek Insurrection. Well, maybe meant Insurrection. I don't know. I can't remember the music from Insurrection.
No, but it's yeah, no, it's just small little things. But I thought the film was really enjoyable. Even though my score's lower, I actually probably enjoyed the film more than Barney did.
I think I was expecting because I scored Tron Legacy at a 9 out of 10. I love that film so much. My expectations of this film was probably way too high, but it's an okay film.
Well, I think you were hoping for a film and then you got something completely different, in all honesty.
Yeah.
I think you were expecting something and then you didn't get the film that your fanboy idea had.
Yeah.
And you're disappointed for it. But I mean, I think as a film, or if you're not a Tron fan, you definitely enjoy this. This would be really, really enjoyable if you've not seen it before. And I think if you have seen it before, you'd still enjoy it. In all honesty, I think it's well worth a watch. I think it's. I don't think it's going to be the biggest film of the year. I think cinematically, I think it deserves an award.
Yeah,
Cinematically,
is amazing.
Cinematically, it definitely deserves an award.
It's
but
a spectacle.
It's a very enjoyable film. I'd watch it again.
Yeah. Okay, well, thanks for joining us today. If you like our content, please like, subscribe, follow, and we'll see you on the next one.